Right friends, this is first capsule of 50th week and the topic name is Towards Digital Pros and Cons. Government is giving more emphasis for digital transactions. Government's intention is to reduce cash to GDP ratio from at present 12% to around 6%, and now I am discussing 9 points I have taken as advantages or further follow up actions. At the same time, 7 points I have taken as disadvantages or points of concern. So let us look at the first point. Definitely, because of digital transactions, black economy will be reduced substantially. No doubt, certain cash transactions may shift to gold as well as diamond, and till date, most of the bribery is taking place in cash, and now it may shift to gold as well as diamonds. So, with this, there is every possibility gold smuggling may also increase, but overall, the effect will be reduction in black economy. When more and more transactions are coming towards digital, there is every possibility that the black economy will be reduced. Then second point is, there are several difficulties and also costs associated with the printing and physical handling of cash, and this will be reduced substantially. Physical handling of cash is one of the bigger problems because of the reason that cash is being transported to interior parts of the country, and the safety of carrying cash is also another problem. So, under these circumstances, if government reduces cash to GDP ratio from 12% to 6%, definitely the costs associated with the printing and handling of currency notes will be reduced substantially. And please don't forget, we have previously discussed, notes are printed by Bharatiya Reserve Bank Note Mudran Private Limited as well as Security Printing and Minting Corporation of India Limited, and how the cash is distributed I have given in this chart. Please go through it. And the third point is, when the transactions are through digital means, there will be continuous account of the transactions, which in technical terms or which in financial terms is known as financial trail. That means the history of the transactions will be available, and you cannot deny that you have not done that purchase. There is a history of financial transactions created, and that will be permanent record. Then the fourth advantage is anti-social elements, then mafia gangs, drug peddlers, smugglers, Naxals, they will find it difficult because of the reason without cash transactions, that means with less cash transactions, their activities will be reduced substantially. And another important point is, they cannot come to the organized financial system because they will be caught if they come to the organized financial system. Then tax to GDP ratio is expected to increase. Tax to GDP ratio is at present around 17 to 18% if I am not wrong. This is expected to increase if government makes strenuous efforts, because financial trail will be available. That's why tax to GDP ratio will increase. And here, once tax to GDP ratio increases, then government can think of reducing the income tax rates also. After bringing more and more people into the tax network, then government can reduce the rate of income tax. Then another important aspect is exorbitant or lavish expenditure. These are the hallmarks in certain parts of the country and in certain sections of the society in our country, and most of this lavish or exorbitant expenditure takes place through unaccounted money or black money, and it is expected to come down if government imposes various rules and regulations with regard to digital transactions. The next point I would like to tell you is, in the country, purchasing of votes through dubious means It is the common practice. Most of the political parties purchase votes before elections. Per vote, rupees 500, per vote, rupees 1000, like this are being given. With the incidence of reduction in cash, this purchasing of votes is expected to be reduced. And here, one important legislation government should bring immediately. The important legislation is, now political parties can accept anonymous donations up to rupees 20,000 per each individual. Political parties need not give any accountal, they need not give the name of the person, whoever is giving donation up to 20,000. It is anonymous donations for each person up to rupees 20,000 is allowed. This is the main conduit for black money, and government should bring legislation immediately. Then another important aspect is, black money is more in real estate sector and education sector. Buildings, lands, these are hiding black money. So more and more transparency is required in real estate sector as well as education sector. Then 8th point is, all the immovable properties in our country must be mapped and linked with Aadhaar number, bank account number. That is the need of the hour. Each and every immovable property, the owner, bona fide owner of that property, must be linked with Aadhaar number, bank account, and if possible mobile number. With this, property transfers will be transparent. No one can escape subsequently. Benami transactions will come down. Government immediately has to do this reforms in anonymous donations to political parties. And second important point is, all the immovable properties must be linked with Aadhaar numbers so as to reduce the incidence of black transactions. And another radical measure government has to do, all the households as well as traders should be asked to reveal their gold holdings as a one-time measure. Government will not take away, government will not confiscate, but as a one-time measure, entire trading community as well as households across the country should declare their gold and ornaments holdings as a one-time measure. So these are the steps required to control black economy, because government is doing many steps to control black economy, and these three are very much important. 3-4 items I have listed out here. One is anonymous donations to political parties, increasing transparency in real estate and education sector, then mapping all the immovable properties with Aadhaar numbers, and declaring all the gold holdings by traders and residents. If government is able to do all these things, then probably black economy will be crashed like anything, right? And now let us look at the disadvantages or points of concern. We discussed about advantages as well as action plan to be done by government, and at the same time, please don't forget, there are disadvantages or points of concern. The first one is, most of the MSMEs at present are running with cash transactions, and with the imposition of restrictions on cash economy, then what will happen? MSMEs will be affected. Those in the unorganized sector will be affected. And please don't forget, black money is one of the reasons for flourishing of certain industries in our country, and if black money is curbed, there is every possibility that common man will be suffered. This may be transient period for 2-3 years, but during this period, the government should look at the social security aspects of the masses of the country. Then second point is, most important, cheating of the people is going on at present. Even with cash transactions also, number of people, or you can say fraudulent actions are taking place, and number of people not only in rural areas but also in urban areas are being cheated under collective investment schemes, cheat funds, like that, Ponzi schemes. So the financial literacy of the people is not up to the mark. Under these circumstances, switching over to digital transactions may put common man at risk, and there is every possibility that the fraudulent transactions may increase with digitization, because common man is not aware about the risks associated with digital transactions. So more and more literacy is required. Then third important aspect, this is pertinent to a country like India. If you take our country, almost substantial part of income of below middle class people normally goes to arak shops. By evening, part of the income goes to arak shops, and liquor is the common thing in several households. Rich may not be affected much, but the poor people are most affected because of the proliferation of these liquor shops. And several families are being run with the money carefully set aside by wives as well as mothers without knowing the head of the family. Several families are being run by the wives as well as mothers of the family, and they are taking care of the family, because if the money is available to the head of the family, then possibly that will go to the arak shop or liquor shop. So with more and more digitization of transactions, several families may be affected, because it may not be possible for the poor wives as well as poor mothers to keep money aside without knowing the husband or son, right? So under these circumstances, if you look at the complex system of families in our country, and as substantial people are affected by liquor, this assumed a lot of significance. When secrecy is lost, then families may be affected. This is most important point if you look at the Indian society is concerned. And the next point is, when the percentage of cash to overall GDP is reduced, then what will happen? Hoarding of cash may take place. All of you are hearing about hoarding of pulses. When essential commodities are in a scarce supply, people normally go for hoarding. So similar hoarding may also take place, because when people feel that cash may not be available freely, hoarding of cash may take place that may create additional problems. Then another important aspect is, trail of each and every financial transaction will be available to the government, and confidentiality is very much essential, and a certain degree of confidentiality is very much required, because Indian family system is quite peculiar, with Indian women known for keeping cash without the knowledge of family members, with the intention of future family needs like marriages, education. So this digital transactions and having less cash in the society may be counterproductive if you look at certain sections of society in our country. And to take care of the future needs, and when more and more digitization is taking place, then what will happen? Cash availability will be reduced, and rural women may not be in a position to save cash in the form of currency notes. Then another important aspect is, with more and more digitization of transactions, then there is every possibility freedom will be lost. Your each and every action will be known to the state, will be known to somebody. And in fact, unrest in some of the Gulf countries, as well as unrest or problems in socialist countries, are primarily due to loss of freedom, due to more state intervention. With more and more digital transactions, and if human beings, each and every action is noticed by the state, where is the freedom for the human being? When freedom is lost, everything is lost. So this aspect assumes a lot of significance. The last point is, as everything is under public domain, though confidentially, but everything is in public domain, that means the state authorities can have access to that information. So as everything is available to the state authorities, this information can be used to score political gains over the adversaries. In our country, scoring political gains against the adversaries is a common feature, and now everything is available digitally. Now witch hunting is possible with this data. And two things are very important before concluding this. I would like to put forth two important points. First one is right to privacy assumed huge significance. Right to privacy should be made a fundamental right. That is one important aspect. Otherwise, this information can be used by antisocial elements or the persons to score political gains or personal gains. Then second important aspect is cyber security architecture needs improvement. Right friends, I have taken certain aspects, positive as well as negative aspects. When you look at this digitalization, or you can say digital transactions towards the digital economy, and these points are pertinent. Right friends, with this let us conclude the first capsule. Have a nice day. Thank you.